When the sun goes down, that's right. It's time for Sports Hour.
The quarterback that beat the Kansas City. Oh, no, it's actually Sarah.
The flip was switched and the lights came on.
The lights were on.
Hey, Sarah, go long.
Oh, wait, Trevor. I play football. Gopher!
Guys, I just want to talk about golf this year. That's all I want.
Guys, I just want the Sabres to be good this year.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Sports Hour. I'm your host, Trevor Howard. With me, Sarah Gorton, or Purple Katniss Everdeen.
No.
I mean, I'm just calling it how it is, okay?
I am and always will be Kate Bishop.
Fine.
You probably don't even know who that is because you're not a Marvel fan.
I know Purple Katniss
which is
Everdeen
unfortunate.
is.
This is why self-promo. You should listen to the Marvel ads. Me and his sister's podcast because we make fun of him and torture him on live radio.
How is that fun?
Because it's hilarious because you don't know Marvel. So anyway, Sports Hour. This is Sports Hour.
This is Sports Hour.
We're doing a little bit of a late Halloween, little day after Halloween episode.
Yeah.
So a couple of people are dressed up.
Thanks to the bros over at the FCC, I couldn't dress up as my Lord and Savior tonight, and maybe that will be the only saving grace for my Houston Astros. We'll get into that when Topher comes on, but oh my God, they're bad. Let's just jump right into the AFC section of the Week 8 scores. Bills and the Pack. Guess what? Packers stink.
They do.
3 and
It's
5.
sad.
When was the last time you've seen Aaron Rodgers go play that poorly, have that start to a season? He's not even in his press conferences saying my knee. Like, he's obviously
you just
healthy.
Had to throw that in there.
I had to throw that in there, but he's not injured.
No,
But he just doesn't look the same.
He has a little thing with his thumb, I think, but it's been like ongoing for a while.
I mean, you get paid 4 years, $200 million.
Yeah,
you have no excuses right
no
there.
No excuses. No, but seriously, this is a Packers team that we're not used to seeing the Packers organization like this.
No.
We haven't been in the last 20 years or so, probably. So it's definitely different. But hey, if the Packers are down and my Bills are at the top of the world, I'm 100% fine with that.
Yep.
So,
I mean, you look at the score, 27-17. Both quarterbacks didn't play extremely well, but the Bills obviously got the job done. And Stephon Diggs doing that trash talking, if you really want to get under his skin, well, first of all, my question is, why would you? Because you know he's going to burn you for 106 or whatever amount of yards that was.
It was 108 this
108 yards and a touchdown. I mean, wow.
He's just a beast.
He is just a beast. Gabe Davis only catching 35 receiving yards, and it doesn't even matter because the Packers obviously didn't show up to Highmark Stadium. And I saw the pregame when they shut the lights off, and then when they turned them back on, and you saw all the fans. I didn't see one empty seat there.
Right, no.
The Bills are dedicated, and that's what happens when you have a good team on your sideline. Also,
not even just, but honestly, with the Bills, not even just a good team. The full seating, good team. But Bills fans have always stuck through the hard times. So that's what's so good about them.
I mean, it was 17 years at one point. What was it, 17-year playoff drought or something like that? And they finally turned it around, and now they're the first time they started 6-1 since 1993.
That was the first home Sunday night primetime game since 2007.
I can't even believe that.
That's crazy.
No, that's insane. You're talking J.P. Lossman or Trent Edwards, one of the two
2K7.
that was on the team. You're talking 2K7. Yeah, you're talking 2K7. But yeah, Bills 27-17. They're 6-1.
Yeah.
Packers are 3-5.
Unheard of.
Wow. And the Vikings, which we'll get into in our next segment, they're just skyrocketing in the NFC North. Definitely looking good there. Oh, poor Pittsburgh. Poor Pittsburgh. Philly taking them down 35-13. The only undefeated team in the league right now. I think all the pressure in the world is on the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Yeah.
I think it's only just a matter of time till they lose. But Steelers, at some points in the game, they got kind of close, but it really wasn't. Philadelphia wasn't really scared.
Yeah. No, Philadelphia clearly has like something going. Even though, like, and I feel like we weren't expecting them to come out swinging this year and be, like, completely, like, the only undefeated team so far. But here they are, and they've found some sort of formula, and we'll have to see how long, if they're able to stay undefeated the rest of the year here. I mean, you got Jalen Hurts throwing for 4 touchdowns, and then,
he's awesome.
He is.
He is such a good
really
quarterback this year, and I don't even know where that even came from. Like, he's a second-round pick. Nobody had Jalen Hurts being this good in their system, especially like the year when they drafted him. Wentz was the franchise guy. Everyone's like, why did we draft him? We already have a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And then he kept getting injured. He got benched in the 2020 season, and Jalen Hurts has just been taking over ever since. He was good last year, but he's just like up here this year.
Right. No, he
He's
definitely stepped up. You could tell he stepped up his game over the offseason, and I mean, look at here we are. The proof is in the numbers now. So
game wasn't even close, 35-13. The Raiders and the Saints. Now this game, I don't feel bad for Josh McDaniels at all. I always look at him as the guy that is just like a Judas-like figure. I'm gonna take the Colts job in Indy. Nope, I'm gonna call him. Like, I'm not even going to go to his office and say that I'm not going to coach there. I'm going to call him on his phone and back out. I don't feel bad for this. 24-0. Josh McDaniels gets shut out by the New Orleans Saints. Wasn't even close.
Not even close. I mean, there's not much to say about this one except that the Raiders came up with a big fat 0.
Goose egg, and they couldn't crack it. Sorry, but no cooking numbers for you this week. Broncos country, let's ride, taking on the Duval in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a pretty close game.
Broncos country rode. They rode themselves a victory. Not even led by Russell Wilson. They scored 21 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But this was overseas, too. This was the early game, 21-17. And fun fact about the Jaguars is that they actually traded for... I don't even remember his name now. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
From the Atlanta Falcons and the Bills.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to mention that.
We didn't even get to the trade. Done watching sports. You're gonna get a new Sports Hour host pretty soon.
No.
Because I'm done watching them. The Astros suck, and Nyheim Hines got traded. So
yeah, to the Bills.
Got traded
Thanks,
to the Bills.
Colts. We'll take it.
Yeah, that was the first one. I knew I was gonna hear that every single time watching a Bills game with my friends. Thanks for Nyheim, Trev. I'm not the friggin' GM. I didn't make the trade. I didn't trade for the bum that is Zach Moss.
Oh, man. I mean...
And a conditional... You couldn't even give us a 4th-round pick. Well, you gave us a conditional 6th-round pick that could turn into a 5th-rounder. Well, the Colts are run by buffoons, and we'll hear that when Justin comes on for our NFC segment.
Yes,
but
indeed.
I almost said Russell Gage. It's not him. It's Calvin Ridley that got traded to the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
He's still on a suspension, I believe, so he won't be back until at least like week 8. Or no, it is week 8. What?
Yeah,
week 10 or 11 or something like that, whenever Deshaun Watson comes back. The Patriots and the Jets, I thought the Jets were going to win 5 in a row. I've never been a Patriots fan in my life, so I was really pulling for the Jets in this one.
Yeah.
Kind of let me down, bros. But the Patriots took this one. It was fairly close, but the Patriots got a big road W.
They did, unfortunately. But, I mean, they're still 4-4,
W,
so...
by the way. Yep.
Yeah.
W. Let's eat one.
No W.
No W. No W for the
No W for the Jets.
Oh, sorry, Jets. Sorry.
There you go. No W.
Is this the right way? It's like mirrored. L.
Yeah,
There's your L. Sorry.
Anyway, next game.
Next game. Titans-Texans. Uneventful.
Yeah.
Definitely uneventful. It's an AFC South game, so like, what do you expect? Tennessee Titans. Just Derrick Henry running for over 200 yards.
Yeah.
Davis Mills is not a franchise quarterback for Houston. Low scoring, too. Like, I expected Tennessee to put at least like 31 on them. And this was the first start for rookie quarterback Malik Willis because Ryan Tannehill missed the game with an ankle/illness. Never seen that before. We call those injuries cult-type injuries because you only see those things come out of Indianapolis. But it happened in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So you never really know. But
Tannehill
will be back next week. They have a 2.5-game lead in the division. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to, you can start Malik Willis for the rest of the season and nobody would question it because Indy's not catching you. Jacksonville's not catching you. And Houston is going for the first overall pick in the draft this year. So they're definitely not going to be chasing you. But Tennessee, it's clear and obvious who the best running back in the league is, and that's Derrick Henry, without a doubt.
Yeah, because like we don't even know where the Titans would be without Derrick Henry. That's like
I can tell you where they'd be. They'd be 3-4-1, like a team I root for.
Yeah, if not worse than that. But
it's hard to be worse than that.
if not,
honestly.
It's
hard to only average 16.2 points per game.
Yeah, I didn't register the second part of what you said. That was funny.
How about this one? A battle of it's an AFC North battle, actually.
Yes.
Caught myself in a lie there. Bengals and Browns prime time. How about the man himself, Jacoby Brissett, going 27 of 31, winning this game over Cincinnati, 32-13. That was just unexpected, to say the least. I mean, the Rams got blown out, and the two Super Bowl contenders got blown out in the same week.
And I was at work last night, and I had like the scores I was just keeping an eye on the scores as I was sitting there at work, and all of a sudden, like, it was kind of boring right at the start. Like, nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, like, the Browns went up by like 3 scores?
Yeah.
And to 0, and I was like,
it was such a slow game. Like, in the beginning, first quarter, nothing was happening. They just kept punting it. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I check the score, and it's like 20-something to 10. I'm like, what?
Okay.
I'm like, okay, you go, Cleveland Browns. Good job, guys.
Right, exactly.
But Jacoby Brissett, like, they honestly have to have a conversation when Deshaun Watson comes back in Week 11. Like, if you don't know the playbook, I just start Jacoby the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Worst happens is that you miss the playoffs, but you get a solid draft pick. The best that can happen is Deshaun Watson looks good, and Jacoby has to sit the bench. But real quick, one last game. Oh, man. Tom Brady.
Just give it up, pal.
No, you got to be 27-22. Baltimore, or as Al Michaels says, Baltimore comes out with the win, 27-22. And they did ball out in Baltimore, even though they were playing in Tampa, I believe. But it's time to hang them up, buddy. It's time.
Yeah.
I mean,
but anyway, anytime. I mean, it is nice for Bills fans whenever we see Tom Brady lose, or just some other fans, or just any NFL fan too. So.
But there's that. Baltimore. Thank you for providing us a service this week. Coming up in about a minute, we're gonna have our boy Justin cover some NFC Week 8 games. So do not go away.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's gotta be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
Well, we're happy to have Justin here for our NFC segment. And I think, you know what, Justin, let's just jump right into the funny stuff. And what I mean by that is talk about the trash bin, poverty, garbage organization that is the Indianapolis Colts. Absolute epic failure and an absolute spoiling of Sam Ehlinger's first start on the team. 6th-round pick out of Texas in 2021. 22 seconds to go. They give up a game-winning score to lose that game 17-16.
Yeah, I mean, this was his first NFL game, so, like, he didn't play horrible with, like, 201 yards, I believe it was. But, I mean, still, it was a pretty equal game all throughout the whole play time. But, yeah, he didn't do anything crazy on paper.
No. I mean, 17 of 23 for, what was it, a little over 200 yards. Didn't look that great, but at the same time, you know, I don't think the defense can let a backup quarterback in Taylor Heineke go 89 yards down the field to catch a game-winning touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin, a guy who the Colts passed on not once, not twice, but 3 times in the 2019 NFL Draft. And, by the way, they fired their offensive coordinator today, a.k.a. Scapegoat, because we all know he's not calling the plays. It's all Frank Reich that's calling the plays. And they traded their number 2 running back to the Buffalo Bills, and I'll never hear the end of that trade. I don't understand. Like, this team just honestly confuses me. And if it wasn't for loyalty, like I would have zero reason to root for this team anymore. Like, I have all the reasons in the world to root for the Buffalo Bills.
You
like,
don't have a hat today either to throw.
No, I'm not. I'm just done with that too, because it's obviously not gonna change anything. I mean, if they want to start winning, they could blast O-Town in the locker room. But even at that rate, it's going to be a miracle to get the Colts on the winning track. Even if they blast all of O-Town's biggest hits, which is AKA every single song, it would still be a miracle for them because they're so rusty.
Well, moving on from that
debacle.
What game do you want to talk about next?
Let's go with the Rams and 49ers. Definitely an unlikely outcome because the Rams got their teeth kicked in. 31-14 by the 49ers, their division rival. What's going on with the Rams this year, man?
It was a very interesting game to watch because going into the what is it called? The first half.
Yeah. Going to the kickoff.
Whatever. There was only a 4-point difference, and then the 49ers just popped off in the second half. Like, it was insane. And Christian McCaffrey, 94 rushing yards.
And throwing a touchdown pass?
Yeah.
How about that? Throwing a touchdown pass. Running back.
Great play.
Throwing a TD.
The 49ers defense adjusted really well to the Rams offense with Cooper Kupp
and Allen Robinson, Cam Akers, and obviously Matthew Stafford throwing the ball. Definitely unlikely outcome for sure. Let's talk about this wild game. Atlanta and Carolina. So Atlanta is, I think what are they best known for? Choking? The Atlanta Falcons, at least.
Well,
they're best known for choking.
It didn't start off that way this season.
Didn't start off that way, but Marcus Mariota led them. I'm not going to say he led them to victory because they almost blew it. The kicker led their way to victory. But what happened on that final drive, that when Carolina had the ball, it was 34-28. Carolina throws a Hail Mary with their third-string quarterback. DJ Moore catches the ball in the end zone, and they tied the game. All they need is an extra point to go out and win.
That's it.
All they need is an extra point. They get a stupid 10-yard penalty, so the kicker has to make a 48-yard extra point. And what do you know? He shanks it, misses it. They go to overtime.
And then they got in field goal range from their drive, and he missed it again.
He missed it again.
And do you want to know his quote? Very different from the last.
Oh, from Cam York of the Browns?
Yeah, last week's quote.
Can't even imagine.
His quote said, "It hurts." And, that's a way better answer than, hey, if it wasn't blocked, it would have went in. So, props to him for admitting that, he didn't perform well. But, that's tough. 2 kicks to win. That's all you need, an extra point. And it's tough being a kicker because for situations like this, the whole game is on you.
No, you're either the hero or you're just...
Everyone hates you.
Everyone hates you.
There's
really no middle ground there.
And for this case, unfortunately, for Eddie
Pinheiro?
Yeah, Pinheiro. Unfortunately, everyone hates him right now.
And he shouldn't have to make a 48-yard extra point.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
First of all, I think 38-yard extra points or that distance is ridiculous anyway.
Yeah.
They used to be 20 yards because you're just kicking for 1 point.
Yeah.
But you got to stay disciplined because 19 times out of 20, they still make these extra points. So you got to think if they don't get the penalty there, they kick the game-winning extra point, and Atlanta chokes yet again. But if you really think about it, Marcus Mariota played okay. He played decent, and he's played better than Matt Ryan has this year. And
well, the only thing bad about it was they started a game with a 50-yard interception.
They did.
Was that the first play of the game?
Yep.
Yeah,
or at least on their first drive.
Yeah, it was pretty rough watching that. Yeah.
But Carolina had the win right here and pulled an Atlanta Falcons, ironically speaking, because they definitely choked away an easy victory. Had it right in their hands, and they dropped it.
Yeah.
Or in this case, they missed it wide to the right. Next one, Dallas and Chicago. The Cowboys, I thought this was a scorigami, and if you don't know what a scorigami is, it's a score that's never taken place in the NFL before. 49-29, but I guess that happened once in 2005 4, I think I read.
Yeah.
49-29. The Cowboys, are they legit? I'm kind of thinking that they are.
I'm thinking they're legit with the performances from Dak and Pollard with 131 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I mean the Bears did have a nice uniforms though.
They did. They were
Like,
rocking the orange helmets.
And the orange pants. Like, it's nice, but again,
That offensive line though, you got to talk about that offensive line. For Justin Fields, man.
I feel bad for Justin Fields because that O-line, they need to listen to more O-Town because clearly they're not playing to their full strength. I mean, the Cowboys defense was all over Justin Fields in the second half. So, Bears O-line, go listen to O-Town.
The Bears. Oh, lost by 20. Seems like a usual occurrence every single week. I feel bad for Bears fans because they're the host of the NFC. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They have a lot of decent pieces, but they just don't know how to use them. And for the players that are actually good, that should be easy to know how to use, they trade them. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Lions and the Dolphins. The Dolphins definitely showed some resiliency because they were the comeback kids, down 14-0 early to the Lions.
Which is unheard of.
Definitely unheard of. I don't think any team starts losing to the Lions.
How did that, Dolphins? What are you doing? I mean, you adjusted well, but come on, how are you gonna let that? They scored. It was 2 unanswered, 14-0.
2 unanswered, and
back to back. It was crazy.
They came back to win it, I believe, by 4. And Tyreek Hill was on pace to catch 2,300 yards this year, which is absolutely incredible, and 160 something catches, which is insane, and 16 touchdowns.
Yeah.
With Tua. It's hard to believe.
Tua, 382 passing yards. Is he back? 3 touchdowns? Is he back, or was it he was just playing against the Lions? So
I don't know.
There's 2 options there.
He just can't get whacked over the head again.
Yeah, otherwise he might be donezo.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, and then also though, the Detroit Lions traded away their number 1 tight end to the Minnesota Vikings today. TJ Hawkinson going to the Vikings, trading them in the division, the best tight end in the division. You're trading him within the same division. I don't know if the Lions are trying to win or if they're just counting on draft picks, but
I don't know where I don't know where that franchise is. 1-6.
One of their only bright spots on the offense. Jared Goff is not a bright spot. TJ Hawkinson was. DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown are probably the only bright spots on that. Probably on the team right now.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, going on to the next game. Speaking of Minnesota, that was a decent segue. The Vikings and the Cardinals. I mean,
who would win in a fight? A Viking or a bird?
I would go with the Viking man.
I'd
go with the bearded man.
Barbaric purple and yellow Viking.
I'd go with the purple Viking because just think of it. A Cardinal's what? This big?
Nah.
Dude, we're talking 6'8" Scandinavian guy with a beard.
Pretty birds,
okay?
but let's be real. Come on, man, you're gonna get. Anyway, the Vikings from the start had control over this game. The only opposing thing on the offense or on the Cardinals was the returning of DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, for sure.
Which,
DeAndre Hopkins is amazing.
I drafted him for my fantasy team early on and he's proven his worth after his 6-game suspension.
There you go.
So thank you, DeAndre.
And then real quick, Seattle and the Giants. The Giants, I'm sorry to say it, but you suffered your 2nd loss of the season.
Yep.
But be glad where you are right now in the season because nobody had you here in the first place.
Yeah, most definitely.
Geno Smith tearing it up. They won by a couple scores, and the fans were chanting Geno at the end.
5 sacks against
5 sacks.
That's kind of crazy.
But Justin, thanks for coming on. There's your NFC segment. And coming up in approximately 1 minute, we have Topher to talk some MLB baseball when we return.
Stay dill.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. Executive service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Executive service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time, just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service. We've been down there to the post office. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign, so don't get nervous. Sign your name for Selective Service. It takes no time, just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time, just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Happy to have Topher on for our awesome MLB segment here from your local Astros fan and your local New York Yankees fan.
Oh, it's great for both of us.
We both don't have a lot of positive things to say because I think the last time we had an MLB segment was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
at the end of the ALC. No, that was during the ALCS.
We just never talked about the ALCS, and I don't think we have to. It's okay.
No,
we
the Astros will go down in history as the team that swept the Mariners, swept the Yankees, and are going to lose in 5 to the Phillies.
Yeah.
That's just dusty ball for you right there. I don't have much to say. Like, this team chokes. The universal choking symbol should be the Houston Astros logo. I mean, Lance McCullers Jr. sucks. I'm just going to say it right now. You have awesome hair, but my God, dude, you stink. The lights need to turn on. I mean, if we're being for real here, down 4-0.
This is rough.
Top of the 5th.
It's
You only have
rough.
2 hits, and all we heard was, we're going to be so prepared in Philly.
No, you weren't.
Okay. Sure, you might lose this series in 5 because you guys are
Oh my
playing
God.
so badly.
Bryce Harper took you yard in the second, dude. Like, what do you want?
Oh, because Lance McCullers decided it was an awesome
It was
idea.
so good.
To throw a
So
hanging
smart.
curveball that he doesn't have anymore.
It's not good.
Say my knee and have Nick, or I almost call him Nick Harper. That's an old football player right there. Bryce Harper to the second deck at Philly Stadium.
Yeah, no, he kind of just took it and sent it.
But I
Like,
got
that
to
was
ask the
not
question,
good.
though. The Phillies are undefeated at home this entire postseason.
Yeah.
Are they stealing signs?
Oh, dear God.
Are they hitting the trash can?
Oh.
Do they have
cannot-
buzzers under their jersey?
Oh,
Are they
no.
cheating? Oh well, I know what they're doing. They're breaking bus windows. Their Astros team bus window. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw
Fans were throwing rocks at the window.
Yeah,
They
it
broke
was
one of them, and
bad.
Justin Verlander got out and flipped them off.
Yeah. Great sign for the Astros right there.
Great sign right there. And they're gonna lose the World Series. I'm just gonna flat out say it right now to save myself some heartbreak. They're done. Stick a
Yeah.
fork in them after that blown lead in Game 1.
Yeah.
That blown 5-0 lead with their ace on the mound. Okay.
Yeah,
They're
this-
done. Stick a fork in them. They are well done. They're not even medium rare. They're well done. They're done. Astros are just save yourself some heartbreak there. Get through the what's it called? The stages of grief early. Tackle them
Yeah.
early so you don't need to face them.
I'm through them already.
When's Game 5? Wednesday?
Tomorrow. Oh,
No,
5
Game
is
5
Thursday.
is Thursday. Okay, so I'm just preparing myself for Thursday when this
Yeah.
team gets eliminated by the Philadelphia Phillies.
By 11 o'clock, you'll know.
By an 87 win team. I have no words to say, but except at least the Mariners are out. At least the Yankees are out.
See, I already went through my grief stages. Like, it was like Game 2.
No.
And I'm like, this
Yeah.
isn't going well. Harrison Bate is the only thing that was like giving me any hope.
No, he was doing great. That
He was
series.
great. He was great all postseason. And then kept watching. And I'm like, Boone doesn't want a job. And for some reason, Boone still has a job.
You ever see the thing on TikTok where it's like creative ways to quit your job? I think that was what Aaron Boone did, just throwing in the towel after game 1.
And it didn't work. It didn't work.
Well, no, it didn't work
Steinbrenner
yet. It didn't work yet.
No, Steinbrenner said they're committed for next year, I guess.
You gave him the vote of confidence, but that could change at any time.
Bro, is this what it's like having like Mike McCarthy be your head coach? It's like the Dallas Cowboys.
No, it's what it's like having Frank Reich as your head coach.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Actually,
I mean,
see, I don't even I don't even know if it's Reich's fault.
No, it's like having Dusty Baker as your manager.
Yeah, okay, that's valid.
I think that's
Boone
more accurate, more on the same sport.
Yeah, seriously, like it's bad. You know what's wild too? I think people forget Philly fired Girardi halfway through this season. No, they did. I think everyone forgets Philly fired Joe Girardi halfway through this season, and now they're just in the World Series.
That's how you know that Joe Girardi has really lost it.
Yeah, it's
and
bad.
how the team is really rallying around this new guy and how much they rejected Joe Girardi.
Yeah, dude, 2009 Joe is like the only thing that was saving him.
That was Jumbo Joe, man.
It really was. Like that was the Joe Girardi that like stays in my head because like that's the one I want to remember him on. Not got fired from the Phillies, Joe, because that's not a pretty sight for him.
I mean, I had a bad feeling going into this game because I really felt like they should have started Christian Javier over Lance McCullers Jr. because ever since McCullers got that contract, he had a great regular season last year. Then he got hurt in the postseason.
Yeah.
He got paid 5 years, $85 million. And for what?
It was a long contract, and he was not great during the regular season either.
No, especially not this year.
No, he got bank and fell off.
Yep. He got bank, took the money, and sprinted the other way.
He did the Russell Wilson of the MLB.
Yep.
Literally the Russell Wilson epitome of the MLB, and just got his paid, got a long-term contract, dipped
and said, see ya, I'm going to pitch decently for throughout the regular season. Not even going to rehab during the lockout.
Yeah.
And I'm going to blow Game 3 in the World Series, a major swing game in the series, especially when it's tied at 1-1. You see, if Houston can hold on to the Game 1 lead, and I said this before, that 5-0 blown lead was going to hang over their heads the whole series. And if they lose this World Series, which looks about very likely right now, that's the only thing that's going to be talked about. That's the only thing that's going to be talked about. They had a 5-0 lead in Game 1 and blew it. I mean, I hate to say it as a fan of this team, but they honestly deserve to lose this World Series.
I think you're right. Like, it's just like Game 2, what was the score? 5-2. Like, it didn't.
6-5 in 10 innings. It was, Game 2 was 5-2, yeah.
Game 2 felt closer than the score presented itself to, which is like not good when it's 5-2.
I mean, Umpy's calling a 2-run homer by Kyle Schwarber that clearly went foul. I'm like, what are we doing here?
I kind of saw that one. I saw that one. I'm like, that's a very questionable call, but I'm not going to root against the Astros right now.
But it's the show. It's the World Series.
Really
Therefore, it's the fall classic for the players, and it's the fall classic for the umps.
They got to make it all about them. It's ridiculous.
It's so fun. But currently, as we speak, top of the 5th, 2 runners are on right now with 2 outs. Altuve, top of the order, at the plate. My prediction: strikeout looking. That's just how tonight's going. Altuve was figuring it out. He was batting
there was no confidence there.
No,
there was none.
This is the same. This is the same exact storybook from last year.
Yeah.
They lost Game 1.
Yeah.
They won Game 2.
And then it just.
And then they lost Game 3 by a lot. And then Game 4, they lost that game, but it was very, very close.
Shout out to the Astros versus the NL East, man.
Shout out the Astros staying consistent in the World Series.
Losing to the NL East.
I mean, NL East, I always thought like third time was a charm, and it might still be, but I don't have a good feeling.
No.
And just...
Wait, third time?
Yeah. Nationals.
Oh
Braves,
my God, they did lose to the Nationals.
Braves.
Oh my God.
Phillies.
I forgot about the Nationals one. I'm like, Braves last year, Phillies this year. My Lord.
Same story, different year.
That's so bad. Is that Bryce Harper too? No, Bryce Harper was already gone. No.
Yeah. No, Bryce was gone.
Oh, so
it was Juan Soto as a rookie.
You're right.
So, it's a 1-0 count for Jose. Nope, he just got out. He flew out. So,
well, it wasn't the strikeout. So you were half right.
No, but he did pop out in foul territory.
Oh, even better.
So you see how prepared the Astros are going into this game. Absolute trash bin. I think Dusty Baker, the fact that this guy got another contract going into this year after watching the collapse that happened last year, You're just doing this to yourself.
I don't get it. No, so by the time we get back on Sports Hour next week,
the Phillies would have won the World Series in 5. So
even if it's in 6, we won't be talking about it yet because Game
7.
Game 7 might be Tuesday.
Because
So
Lord knows the Astros can't defend in Game 6 or 7 on their own turf. So
He's
if they
really
lose
right.
this game, it's over.
I mean, it's not looking great for you.
Bottom of the 5th, and it's a goose egg. I think they should have played last night.
Dude, can we just talk about how much postponement's been happening in this MLB season?
God.
Like,
No,
it's a lot.
it's awful.
As a Yankees fan, I'm also petty about this, but like, what the heck?
I kind of think every team should have a roof in 2022, or at least a retractable one.
I agree. See, I've been on, to be fair, I'm team dome for the NFL too, so like,
Yep.
I'm team roof for MLB.
Because Team Dome in the NFL, you can host a Super Bowl in
Shout
any
out to-
city.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Minnesota, Indy, Atlanta. Who else has a dome?
New Orleans.
New Orleans has a dome
Those
too.
are the 4.
But that's not even a retractable roof though.
It's just straight dome.
Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. I'd
Still.
rather have that.
Exactly. Agreed.
But what did you think of? Because I remember real quick. I remember we were talking about the Seattle Mariners series, but did you really expect the Phillies to take down the Padres the way that they did?
No, that just was a kind of just bullying.
Oh, it was.
It
What
was
was
really
it? 5 games, right? 5?
Yeah, it was 5 games, but it was still bullying.
No, it
Like,
was.
the entire
And the
time.
Padres bullied the Dodgers.
That's
too.
literally what it was. It was just a bunch of bullying in the NL.
And it was one bullying team going into another bullying team.
And it was gonna end somehow.
And Houston's getting bullied by Philadelphia. We all saw this coming. Let's just be honest. So thanks for coming on, Topher. Pray for the Houston Astros because no, actually don't, because they deserve every little bit of this. We're gonna have Brent in about a minute come on and talk some Sabres dominance when we come back.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us
stronger.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking, let's go. You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Happy to have Brent on to talk some Sabres hockey, talk some NHL action. Brent, what's going on, dude?
Big NHL talk. But before we get into the greatness of the Sabres and what they did last night, I woke up today to some devastating news. One of my favorite rappers got shot last night. Takeoff, for anyone watching, if you guys like Takeoff, we're gonna do a little moment of silence. Rest in peace
your
to
hats
one of the greatest rappers with the dirtiest flows in the game. All right.
All right.
Now we can get into the hockey talk. So last night,
8-3.
Last night, 8-3.
8-3
against Detroit.
Against-
Speaking about Detroit, though, hold up. They were supposed to be.
They had a fast start to the season.
They did have a fast start, and they were supposed to be one of like the better teams in the division this year because their younger guys are starting to develop more. They have the veterans, Larkin. So coming into the season, everyone was talking. Last year they were. Fluke, whatever, last couple of years actually.
Yeah.
But then coming into this year, it was a little bit different talk for Detroit. So I didn't really know what to expect from the Sabres, especially dropping to Seattle and Montreal.
Having to come back to beat the Blackhawks. By the way, great game. I was sitting in section
Phenomenal.
120 in that game, right behind the net in the OT goal. So that was a really, really fun game to go to. But I did not expect, like, I remember following the game, and I was like, I watched it up until like the second period, 4-2. I'm like, sweet, we got this. Then I check it like 30 minutes later.
4-2, and we got this in the second.
And I'm like,
Trev.
8-3. Like, I think this is
So you missed the third?
I missed it.
Well, let me fill you in.
Just
All
like
right.
how Delpos misses a routine save.
In Vancouver. But third period, we're up 4-2. Detroit comes back, makes it a 1-goal game, 4-3, right? At this point, I'm getting worried. I'm like, please, Sabres, for the love of God, do not blow this lead.
But somebody scores a hat trick.
Somebody scored a hat trick.
Somebody also got 3 assists.
Somebody got 3 assists. And somebody found the back of the net again after not finding the back of the net for the last 2 or 3 games, I want to say it was.
Exit Tage left.
Exit Tage left. Exactly. But, all right, so third period comes. We're up by a goal. It's getting like mid-third period. I'm like, this is looking kind of sketchy.
Yep.
Then Dylan Cousins comes out of absolutely nowhere. He's like, you know what, Tage, you sit down for a second. Let me take control.
Let me turn the lights on.
Flies down. That's exactly what he did. He turned the lights right on. The goalie last night literally looked like Sobchak. Dylan Cousins flies down the boards, rips literally from like the hash marks close to the boards. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Rips it. Goalie's in a good angle. Boom. Swiss cheese. Never even seen the puck.
Full of holes. Coupons make better saves than this bum. And
Literally.
Don't you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, Somchak makes better saves than this guy. I mean, you got to bring back Jimmy Howard out of retirement.
I mean,
or something.
I was surprised they even left him in after scoring the 6th goal. And Sabres hold on.
Talk about secondary scoring.
Secondary
Rasmus Asplund scoring
Yeah.
the 8th goal?
Yeah, like what? And after we scored the 8th goal and it got down to a minute left, we were still trying to score.
No, we were.
We were still
We were trying to get double
score.
digits.
We were, because we hit 8 with the last 2 minutes, and I was like, you know what? At this point, we're not going to stop, so like get to 10. Just do it. I haven't seen the Sabres reach 10 in my whole life, so that would have been cool. But I'll take an 8-3 dub. I wish I would have bet last night, because, you know, I've lost a good amount of money the past couple games from the Sabres, but hey, I'll still take the fat dub. And Tage Thompson, what a night.
I invested all my money in Tage Coin, okay? I invested all my money in Tage Coin.
Well, then you're a
and
millionaire.
I'm a billionaire now. So that's where it's at. But they got the Penguins tomorrow, a team that we usually don't handle very well in our own house. We can beat them in Pittsburgh, but we can't beat them in Buffalo. First game with the reverse retros.
That's
what do you
gonna
think's
be
happening
sick.
tomorrow night? Do you have any predictions for what's going to
happen? Well, you see, Trev, I thought that Pittsburgh was going to go in tonight against the Bruins and, you know, not do as well. Actually, I meant to say the Bruins going into the Penguins and the Penguins not doing as well. Regardless, Penguins are beating the Bruins right now.
Well, you just hate to see that.
You hate to see that. So, considering that factor, oh, I just realized I think I sat Brian Russ tonight in fantasy too. This is a phenomenal day for me, honestly.
Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. Hines get traded, Astros suck, but you know what? The Sabres are good.
The Sabres are good. When has this happened? The Sabres are making us feel good right now.
Taking it game by game. They're my favorite team right now.
They are
my favorite team right now.
Well, they should always be our favorite team.
Well, they're always my number one team, but like, you know, when Houston goes to the World Series, well, you know what? That should be like a routine thing. Just stop watching. Like, root for them when they go to the ALCS, but when the Sabres
reach playoffs
are in November and they're winning hockey games, like
and that, take a
step
and
back
in November.
and watch.
Yeah, that too. But I don't know. Going in tomorrow against Pittsburgh, I mean, yeah, we always struggle against Crosby and Malkin and Letang and
all the old
vets. But I really think we can pull it out. I really do. Like, most of the time I say things like, hey, I want them to pull it out. I don't think they're going to pull it out. So I usually say they don't, and then I think they're going to lose. But
Game one in the reverse retros.
Coming off an 8-3 win, back at home, All the odds are right there. They're right in front of our eyes, Trev.
I mean, you want to be like Herb Brooks, right? You want to go out there and take it.
You just got to take it.
That's what you got to do.
If we play Pittsburgh 10 times, they might win 9.
They might win 9.
They might, but not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Not this game.
Not this team.
Nope, not not the Pittsburgh team.
No, not the Pittsburgh
not
team.
the Penguins.
You know what? I think this game's going to go to overtime. I just have that feeling.
OT?
And if we're going to lose, I mean, go to overtime and lose,
And
get that
at least
point.
get the point.
But,
Exactly.
I mean, just please put Victor Olsen out there in overtime. Get him in his spot.
Wait, Trev, I
Have him
want to
snipe
ask
and
you
score.
because this was your one favorite player
Oh,
has been
no,
playing.
don't even bring up 37,
very,
man.
Very, very good. You know,
He's been
he's
getting
gotten a
assists.
lot of playing time, a lot of power play time, and a lot of time tripping over the ice.
And a lot of time tripping over the blue line.
And the blue line.
But he's getting assists. But
He's getting assists, but in reality,
this is our first round pick that couldn't do a pull up at the combine in 2017. But you know what? Casey Middlestat, it's time to figure it out.
I think he's
You know what?
starting to figure it out.
But we got to see more goals on the stat sheet.
We do.
With Casey Middlestat.
We do.
That's
and
it.
honestly, I'd like to see more goals from Okposo.
I want to see more goals from.
Like
Oh,
he's
so
playing,
too.
he's playing really well, but he's playing how a captain should be. The points aren't really there, but like when you watch him, so like here's the thing: non-hockey fans, if they look at it, they're like, "Oh my God, Okposo sucks. Why is he even captain?" If you actually watch the games, he's efficient, he's effective, he gets in the corners, he gets in front of the nets.
The players call him like father. in
Yeah, and
locker
the
room
players
stuff like that.
literally call him father. Him and my 41-year-old goalie.
Our geriatric patient of a goalie who has been locking it down.
Locking it
Eric
down.
Comrie, by the way, last night's game gave up 3 goals on 18 shots. Not good, but the Sabres defense, got to give them credit for only allowing Detroit to get 18 shots to begin with. So that's good.
And I'm pretty sure they were out shooting us in the beginning of the game too.
They were.
But I mean, yeah, Comrie, if you're playing tomorrow,
You're a robo boogie.
Please
Get out of the abandoned factory.
Yeah, you have been a robo boogie. Please just win. I have you in fantasy. I took you 200 and whatever it was rounds.
Mr. Irrelevant. No, you got to tell him to stop being a robo boogie because all of his scribbles belong to the Sabres and he's got to play well.
All of his scribbles apparently belong to Don Garata.
Donnie Meatballs. So, Brent, thanks for coming on. Guess who's coming on next, guy? Well, Brent, guess who's coming on next?
This is a very tough question. Out of all the analysts we have here, Trev, who could be coming on? And what sport?
The return of the racing geek himself. Nicholas Fuller is coming on to talk some Formula One racing. So don't go away or I swear.
I will cancel you.
We're ready for you.
Pneumococcal. If you're 65 or older, like me, you're at greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia, even if you're healthy. People 65 plus are over 10 times more likely to land in the hospital for pneumococcal pneumonia than those 18 to 49. And it's important we all do what we can to stay healthy. So, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination.
Hope. Where are you hiding? I search for you in the seconds, the minutes of each and every day. Hear me as I call out to you. Take my hand. Lift me up as I lift up others. Welcome me home, Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, Son, Daughter. Hear us now. Alone we stood, divided we fell. No longer. Now we choose to make the connection. Our new mission lies within. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
16 is such a significant age. I promise to help protect my eldest daughter during this exciting time in her life. Teens are at an increased risk for meningococcal disease, a rare, potentially deadly bacterial infection. But half haven't received the CDC-recommended second dose of the MenACWY vaccine at 16. I want to help change that. Take your shot against meningitis. Talk to your teen's doctor about the Men ACWY vaccine and ask about Men B. Visit the16vaccine.org.
Well. Look who we have here. We're both wearing yellow. So we should have a funny tag team name. What should our tag team name be?
The Tangerine Machines.
Like this guy just comes up with it like that.
I don't know,
but
man.
Nick Fuller, welcome back to the program.
It's a pleasure to be back, Trevor. We got a lot to cover because it's been a while.
Can we
you
talk
guys miss
about
me?
the dominance of Max Verstappen
can
and that Red Bull
talk about
team?
the match. You predicted Red Bull would win the World Championship, and guess what? I come bearing news. They have won the World Championship, along with Max Verstappen becoming a two-time World Championship. This is the first championship for Red Bull, however, since... all right, so this is the first championship for Red Bull since 2013, beginning of the hybrid era. They've kind of fallen off. So it's a big win for Red Bull. Also, huge win for Verstappen, gets the second one. And with controversy around the budget cap breach of over $1.5 million by Red Bull for last year's championship, it feels good to get a legitimate one definitely in there right when the controversy is starting again. I don't know. I think he just kind of sticks it to the man there.
I mean, just taking a look at the standings, like you'd figure that maybe some of these teams would run very, very closely in the standings, but Max Verstappen, it's not even close.
I didn't even write down the stats because it's just not even a competition. I will say, for the rest of the teams, there is some good competitions down the rest of the grid for the end of the year. For the rest of the year, we've got a fight for second with only a 40-point difference between Mercedes and Ferrari. Remember when we thought Ferrari looked so good that they might win the championship?
I was hyping them up so much.
And Ferrari is Ferrari. Of course, they can't do anything but disappoint. They had to just let us all down. They've just sucked the second half.
You know what?
Strategy.
They had time over the summer to really turn the lights on.
But they just kept them off.
They kept them off, and Red Bull took this season by storm.
Yeah, Ferrari was just major robo-boogieing it out there.
Oh, man. I mean, definitely just a complete Chris Chira era moment right there by everybody else besides Red Bull, if you really, really think about it.
I 100% agree. Now, just wanting to keep this thing moving, we've got the fight for second and third between Ferrari and Red Bull. Ferrari is currently winning in second. Mercedes in third. And then fourth and fifth is a tight battle, 153 to 146 against Alpine and McLaren. McLaren had a great Mexico City Grand Prix. My boy Lando Norris got ninth, and Daniel Ricciardo, he actually had a great race during the Mexican City Grand Prix. He was P7, best of the rest, but he actually had a 10-second time penalty from crashing into Yuki Tsunoda and taking him out. I'll be honest, it was a bit of a mugging, if we're gonna be real here. But he then drove his butt off, got ahead of 3 more drivers, and then 10 seconds down the road further.
So I guess you can say right there, time of the penalty, 10 seconds.
It was about 43.
About 43.
But yeah.
43-10-06.
But yeah, we had that. So that's going to be going down to the wire for fourth, and these are for millions and millions of dollars of prize money, these places. So after that, we've got this fight for sixth with Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin, which is only a 4-point difference. That is only one P7 away from them being tied. So big fight there. Whoever gets points is going to really benefit. And then eighth, the American Haas and AlphaTauri are only sitting 1-point difference, 36-35. I don't know about you. I'd love to see Haas climb up that leaderboard. They were the worst car by far last year. If they can get 7th, I couldn't complain if I was Haas.
I mean, if they get 7th, though, you might just be thinking, it is a rise for them. Kind of settling for mediocrity, too. But they're definitely climbing upward.
But I mean, when you think about it, when they started this year with Nikita Mazepin and how they had the only Russian driver on a Russian fertilizer-backed sponsor, for how much controversy and garbage they've had to go through this year,
yeah,
I really can't ask for much more. But yeah, this season, it's pretty much wrapped up currently. We've got not that much time left to do. But I want to recount what's going to go on for next season in particular. Because Formula One silly season has been in full swing since I've been gone. We have had a very, very silly season. First off, we had the very, very sad news that Seb Vettel is retiring. Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion, one of the best drivers to ever do it. Even if you think that it's all Adrian Newey powered machines that got him there, you can't argue with four-time world champion. His record for most races won in a season has just been broken by Max Verstappen this last week.
Of course.
So, but he still is one of the youngest and one of the best drivers to do it. But him leaving Aston Martin was a shock, and everyone thought, oh, so Aston Martin's going to have to fill his seat. Nope, Fernando Alonso said, bail on Alpine, bail on Renault, where I won my 2 world championships. I'm going to Aston Martin. And I just got to say, I hope the paycheck's worth it, Fernando. That team looks awful, man.
I mean, he's just chasing the bag at that point.
Yeah, and I can't blame him because Alpine at the time seemed to have a really good reserve. So, I mean, it felt right. It felt like a decent move for the grid. And then we had the mess up of Alpine. So Alpine, there's this new fantastic driver. He has Oscar Piastri. He will be racing next year. And Oscar Piastri won Formula 2 and Formula 3 his first time through. Only the last person who did that was Charles Leclerc, who we all know is a great racer. So he was on the junior for Alpine. And when we hear the news of Fernando leaving, everyone assumes that Piastri is going to get the seat. There's a tweet the next day. Oscar Piastri will officially drive for Alpine. Everyone's like, wow, Alpine, congratulations. And Piastri goes online and says, yeah, no, actually, I'm not racing for Alpine. They're not next year. So Alpine then has to backpedal and be like, well, I guess we don't have a driver. And Piastri actually goes to McLaren, who'll be racing alongside Lando Norris right here. So that leaves Danny Ricciardo without a seat. 7-time race winner. Very sad. One of the best personalities in Formula One. Going to be sad to see him go. But that pushes Piastri to McLaren and leaves up a seat in Alpine, which allows the other French driver, Pierre Gasly, or as Daniel Ricciardo says, Pierre Gasly. He comes in and he's going to have an all-French lineup on a French team with him and Esteban Ocon. They actually have beef from karting days. So it'll be interesting. I feel like that team is primed to just blow up. Those drivers might go at each other's throat, and I would not be surprised if that happens next year.
And that's all for next year. And I think, like you said before, the season is pretty much all but wrapped up right now. But you still have a couple more Grand Prix to go. Next one is going to take place in Brazil. It's the Brazilian Grand Prix. November 13th at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Do you have any expectations going into this one, or is it just going to be the Max show all over again?
It very well might be the Max show. If Ferrari are going to take it, this is not a bad Ferrari track. It's a lot of corners. Could be beneficial for Ferrari. I don't know how I see that going on. Yeah, and then it's Abu Dhabi, right?
Abu Dhabi after that, yeah.
This point in the season, it's not about the championship. It's just about individual glory. Drivers are just trying to win races. They don't really care if they have to be a little bit more aggressive. If they go out, it doesn't matter. The championship's decided. So I could see some people making some big runs here. Just real quick, I want to point out the last few things for the silly season. Nick DeVries scored a beautiful points debut. He will be driving alongside Sonoda for AlphaTauri. Alfa Romeo is most likely to keep the same lineup with Bottas and Zhao. Zhao's done great. Mick Schumacher might be out of a drive next year from Haas. He's been called very expensive by Gene Haas. So it's a big disappointment there if he goes out, son of an F1 legend. And Williams still has a seat available with Albon and Latifi being cut ties. So yeah, next year's going to be interesting. Next year, finale in Vegas. You want to go, Trevor?
I'll go.
Yeah, let's go to Vegas.
Are you going to pay for my plane ticket, though?
No.
Come on now. Okay, well, you know what? I'll hopefully have enough money by the end to fly out to Las Vegas, but that's about all the time we have. But Fuller, what do you say we just go over just a little bit?
Oh, what do you
guys say before they cut us off? What do you guys say?
There is no cutting off today.
Uh-oh.
We got
man.
the greatest man on planet Earth
and
back in the station.
By the way, the Phillies are up 7-0.
Don't cut us.
On the garbage Houston
I will
Astros.
say, Hamilton's a great driver. He will conquer
Hamilton's
Formula
a
1.
great city too in Canada.
Yeah, but Hamilton needs one win to keep his race
guys
streak
ever been there?
alive since rookie year.
I have.
He's got 2 races to do it. Coming down to the wire. It's gonna be a great rest of the season. Watch Formula 1. Don't cut me off.
Turn the
Goodbye.
screen
The
off.
lights are off.
Turn the screen off.
All right, come on.
All right, we will wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. Turn the
right
screen
now.
back
Like
on.
literally right
Come
now.
on.
No,
come on.
no.
Don't even show one more credit.
No. Can you please go back to us? We'll shut it down. I swear.
Let Fuller do
No,
This is
I've seen all new
ridiculous.
names. We're not gonna have this in my
This
studio
is
right
ridiculous.
now.
I
not gonna-
demand a refund.
Guys, turn us back on, please. All the way. All the way.
There we go.
There we go. Thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll see you next week when the Phillies win the World Series.
Godspeed, soldiers. Later, skaters.
Whoa. Okay.